Have you ever had that sinking feeling, staring at a gym contract that feels less like a membership and more like a prison sentence? You're paying for something you don't even want to use anymore, and getting out just seems impossible. Well, today we're going to cut right through all that noise and lay out what your actual rights are as a consumer here in South Africa.
And trust me, you are definitely not alone in feeling that way. This quote, it's from a real person, a real discussion online, and it just hits the nail on the head, right? It captures that frustration so many of us have faced. The gym might have locked you out, but they say the debit orders are just going to keep on coming. It feels totally unfair. So let's dig into the law and see what's really going on. The fitness industry can sometimes feel like the Wild West, a bit unregulated. But the good news is you actually have way more power than you think. There isn't one single gym law, but there's a combination, a patchwork of really powerful laws that act as your shield. So let's break them down.
Okay, let's dive right in, starting with what is usually the biggest headache of them all, the contract itself. It's the one document that's supposed to make everything clear, but somehow it often just causes the most confusion.
This is the million-rand question, isn't it? What can you actually do? Well, the answer isn't buried deep in the fine print of your gym's specific terms and conditions. No, it's actually found in a much more powerful piece of legislation that can override pretty much any contract.
So let me introduce you to your new best friend in this fight, the Consumer Protection Act, or as you'll hear it called, the CPA. This is the main law that governs the relationship between you and the gym, and it's designed specifically to make sure things are fair and transparent.
The whole point of the CPA was to level the playing field. It sets out your fundamental rights as a consumer and stops businesses from using confusing or totally unfair contract terms to trap you. And when it comes to gym contracts, its rules are pretty much non-negotiable. This table really shows the balance the law is trying to strike. On one hand, you have the absolute right to cancel. But on the other, the gym can charge a reasonable penalty. And here's the most important part. Reasonable does not mean they can charge you for the rest of your contract. No way. It can only cover their actual costs, like, say, a welcome kit they gave you, or maybe a discount they offered up front. They are explicitly forbidden from charging you for their future loss of profit. Okay, if you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, please make it this number: 20 business days. Under the CPA, you can cancel any fixed-term contract, and that includes your gym membership, by giving just 20 business days written notice. That's it. That is your legal right.
And the CPA gives you even more backup. For instance, a gym can't just lock you into some crazy 36-month contract unless they can prove there's a real financial benefit to you for doing so. Oh, and if you got signed up through some high-pressure sales pitch, you have a 5-day cooling-off period to cancel, no questions asked. And all that complicated legal language? Yeah, the contract is actually supposed to be in plain, simple, understandable language.
But hey, your rights don't just stop with the paperwork. They follow you right onto the gym floor, because the actual physical space you work out in is also strictly regulated. This is the Occupational Health and Safety Act, or OSA. Now, you might think it's just for factories or construction sites, but nope. It applies directly to gyms, making them legally responsible for giving everyone, staff and members, a safe environment to be in. So what that means under OSHA is that treadmill with the dodgy cable or that weight machine that's been out of order for months, that isn't just an annoyance. It's a potential legal breach for the gym. They have a duty to maintain their gear, keep the place clean, and make sure their staff are properly qualified. And those use-at-your-own-risk signs, they do not protect them from gross negligence. On top of all the national laws, gyms also have to play by the rules set by their local municipality. And this isn't just about zoning, it's about having the right permits to even operate as a health facility in the first place. And you should definitely know about this document, the Certificate of Acceptability, or COAP. The easiest way to think of it is like the gym's official report card from the health inspectors. It is non-negotiable proof that the place is clean and safe. If a gym can't show you a valid one, well, they're operating illegally. So, we've looked at the current patchwork of laws, but for years now there's been talk of a pretty major shakeup, bringing in a dedicated regulator just for the fitness industry. Believe it or not, proposals for a dedicated fitness industry regulator go all the way back to 2009, and there was a more recent bill in 2020. But so far, none of these have actually been put into effect. It's left the industry in this weird state of self-regulation, propped up by the broader laws that we've just been talking about.
This slide really makes the difference clear.
Right now, we've got self-regulation, which honestly has pretty limited power. The proposed future, though, would bring in a single powerful authority, FIRA, with actual legal teeth. They could inspect any gym, enforce standards, and even shut a place down if it was necessary.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here, from contracts to safety to what the future might hold. So let's boil it all down into the most important points that can take you from feeling trapped to feeling empowered.
For every single gym member out there, these are your non-negotiable rights. That 20-day cancellation rule, that's your escape hatch. The reasonable penalty clause, that protects your wallet. And your right to safety and quality service is guaranteed by law, no matter what any disclaimer sign tries to tell you.
And for any gym owners listening, this is your legal checklist. CPA compliance, not optional. OSHA, not just a suggestion. And that COA is absolutely essential. Understanding these duties isn't just about avoiding fines. It's about building trust and running a sustainable, fair business.
So we're in this really fascinating space, kind of between the system we have now and a future with a dedicated referee. And it leaves us with a really big question. Will more direct regulation be the key to finally creating a healthier and fairer fitness industry for everyone involved, from the owners right down to the members?